Team Throwdown here. I'm Haley, and this is Joe, and we are going to talk about the Raw review. Now, first starts off, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come up, and they pretty much say they want to sell it's pretty much, again, like last week, they want to sell the WWE Network. Get the DVD, too. It was an amazing DVD. Get the network, for $9.99. Paul Heyman was trying to sell the WWE Network to the Cena Nation. That's what he said. And bad things happen to good people when you're up against Brock Lesnar, pretty much. And he starts naming all these wrestlers that Brock destroyed and everything like that. And then he brings up their match from Extreme Rules in 2012, I think it was. Again, he says the only reason that John Cena won last time was because Brock Lesnar was sick and he wasn't 100%, he was only 50%, and now this time he's 100%, so John Cena pretty much better watch out. And he does this rap, which was pretty funny, I'm not going to lie, just talking about pretty much mocking John Cena from Thugonomics and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. It was a good segment, though. Paul Heyman, like I said, he's a genius on the mic. But like I said, we will see. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Brock's gonna win this one, obviously. And that'll bring just more attention to the feud, because they're probably gonna feud for the next few months while Roman builds up. But it was a good segment.
Ending segment, Haley. Paul Heyman is by far the best talker in the business. The rapping was just awesome. I mean, he was better than half the rappers I've heard recently. And I consider myself a hip-hop fan. Outstanding segment. I loved how he talked about the history with Hogan and The Rock and, of course, The Undertaker, and how Brock's taken out all these legends. And at least they acknowledged the Extreme Rules match. And they had to come up with some excuse, so they had to try to tie in with UFC and how he had the defibrillator and how Cain Velasquez and them boys got him at the end of UFC. Seemed like they tried to make a tie-in there. Either way, it is 100% Brock now, and the White Gorilla is ready to rip the rapping John Cena limb from limb, and it's going to be a very exciting match.
Definitely. Next is Roman Reigns versus Ryback in a handicap match. Now, this is what we were talking about last week, was with Kane taking off the mask and what was happening with that, what he was going to do with that, and pretty much if he was going to leave, if he was going to come, just become Kane without the mask or what. And of course, we see corporate Kane back. I was really hoping that he wouldn't come back, but of course he came back. Obviously, he's probably just getting up in age and he doesn't want to wrestle all the time now. So I guess that's why they're having this gimmick, to just still have him, keep him on TV, but, not have him wrestle as much. That's the only thing I can think of. And they're just pretty much running out of ideas for him. But anyways, he puts Roman Reigns in a handicap match against Ryback, and it was a DQ match. Qualification. They threw Roman Reigns into a steel post, and then Roman Reigns, out of nowhere, like Superman, he attacks both of them, spears them both, and stands tall, which makes him look very strong against Randy Orton for this Sunday at SummerSlam. Definitely showing some strength here to make him not look so, like Randy is just like gonna kill him or anything like that. Obviously, we know it's gonna be a very good match between those two. They're both very looking very strong right now. But yeah, Joe, your thoughts?
Both third-generation superstars as well. I think the whole segment, first of all, corporate Kane, how stupid was that? I'm getting so sick of Kane, and throw Big Show in this too. Face turn, heel turn, face turn, heel turn, tweak. I mean, we're just going to go backtrack and go back to corporate Kane. It's freaking stupid. Now, I had heard rumors that maybe they were going to have Kane channel the Jacob Goodnight character, which, of course, See No Evil 2 is coming out in the fall. So maybe they were going to try to make it a la Zeus in the 80s when Tiny Zeus Lister went from No Holds Barred to being a character on SummerSlam. But, look, you're right. Kane getting up there in age, obviously putting him back in corporate Kane is an excuse to keep him on TV but not have him wrestle. Me, I think it's just stupid. They have absolutely ruined Kane's Hall of Fame character. I mean, he's still a Hall of Famer, but it's to the point where I don't even want to see him on TV anymore. Just get rid of him, throw Cesaro in the Authority, and let's pretend Kane doesn't even exist anymore, because it's just sickening. As far as Roman Reigns goes, obviously made him look strong, defeating Ryback. Took a few bad bumps with the post and everything. Came back like a house of fire with the Superman punch. I thought the flying drop kick on the outside looked really good this week. And I almost wish that he had done a double spear. But I do want to say one thing on like Roman's like facial expressions and his kind of selling and psychology. I thought that was some of the best moments I've seen from Roman in terms of like his facial expressions and how they told the story. It actually reminded me a lot of Edge. Especially like with the setup to the spear and everything, and maybe Roman Reigns has been watching some old stuff of Edge to try to, add to his character. I thought it was great, and I thought it really helped give some depth to his character.
Definitely. And then Corporate Kane is backstage with Randy, and Randy much pretty says that he's going to end Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, unlike everybody else didn't do. Like Ryback didn't do tonight, and he made a few comments about Kane, why he's Corporate Kane again. He's just like, you're not the devil anymore. You couldn't take care of the job. You couldn't take him down. So obviously I have to do it now. I have to take matters into my own hands. And Kane gets a little bit upset, and he says he's facing Sheamus later on tonight, and Randy's just like, that's fine, whatever. And Kane says it's best for business. So obviously there's going to be some tension there. I don't know. I feel like maybe that they're not gonna keep Randy Orton heel for a while. They're like gonna, maybe because him and Kane are having some problems. Because if they were gonna obviously turn Kane face and keep him away from the Authority, it would have already happened. So I think like either they're gonna just what I hope they do is keep Randy heel, but get him away from the Authority. Just say, I don't need anyone's help. Because obviously him and Kane are having some problems. They're having some disagreements, and there's obviously tension in the air. That's probably obvious. I think it's going to lead into a feud between those two eventually, and eventually one of them is going to have to leave the Authority, and I just think it would make more sense if Randy left, but I hope he does still stay heel when he does this. But because it would make no sense, especially since Kane just switched back to the Authority again. I mean, he was never really out of the Authority, but he was a wrestler, and now he's Corporate Kane again. But like I said, I have a feeling this is going to turn into a feud in the next few months, and just because there's so much tension in the air, and they're just getting on each other's nerves, and eventually one of them's going to snap and do something. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think Randy needs to break out of it, whether he stays heel. I think he'll kind of be a tweener, maybe an in-betweener at this point. But I think he needs to get out of the Authority. His character is just sabotaged right now. I mean, last year, when they did the whole Daniel Bryan thing, and Randy Orton as the face, being the heel that Daniel Bryan was chasing, it was good stuff. But now it's just, I mean, it makes Randy look like such a little punk bitch. Like, you're a Hall of Famer. You're a 12-time WWE champion. Why can't you stand on your own? You've been with this company probably over 10 years now. It just makes him look pathetic. I mean, for God's sakes, you're a 12-time world champion. And the whole idea of Kane and Randy feuding again, I'm not exactly in love with that either. They fought recently at a WrestleMania. They've probably wrestled hundreds of times throughout their career. I'd rather see both guys continue to work the younger talent, whether it's a Dean Ambrose. I'd love to see a Seth Rollins Randy Orton feud. I think that is possible, with Seth Rollins kind of being groomed to be the next, like, crown jewel of the Authority, and Randy getting jealous and taking matters into his own hands. I feel like that's what they need to do, because the Randy Orton character is kind of sabotaged.
Yeah, definitely. Next, they have what the match was that was supposed to happen last Monday, RVD versus Seth Rollins, and Seth Davies is filing his new shirt. I want to talk about his new shirt for a minute too. A lot of people are saying that they don't like his new shirt and it looks too much like Cody Rhodes' old shirt. And I'm just like, I actually think it's pretty good for his first shirt. I mean, it's not like this is his second or third shirt. This is his first shirt, and it's simple, it's to the point, it's good. I enjoy it. I'm definitely gonna get it. But yeah, I don't know why people are saying that his shirt they don't like his shirt and that they need to do more work on it. Because I think it's simple enough, but it's to the point. It's not too simple, but it's not too much either.
I agree with you. Cody's shirt, some of Cody's old stuff, that's RCR. Kind of similar lettering, different colors. But I like on the back the don't sell out, buy in, and I think it fits him for now. It's better than him wearing the weird little dragon shirts. So it's an upgrade at the moment, and obviously going forward we'll see an evolution of apparel from all the Shield guys. But at the moment, I think he needed a shirt, and he's actually the only one of the three of the Shield guys who rocked his shirt on television. We haven't seen Dean Ambrose rock his little Anarchy shirt on television. We have not seen Roman Reigns wear his Double R shirt on television.
Yeah, definitely. I have a feeling Roman's never going to wear a shirt, though, because he's just sticking with the Shield gear. I think that's just going to be pretty much for display, but who knows about Dean? He's still got that street look going, so who knows about his shirt.
Exactly. And one thing about RVD can still sell pretty good. I think RVD, of everyone who has taken the curb stomp move, I think he does the best job of really making it look devastating. And Rob's always been good at selling and planting himself on his head on a DDT and making those kind of face plant DDT moves look really good. But I want to say one thing about Mr. Monday Night. His age is starting to show. And I'm going to do a video on my channel pretty soon on Y2J and RVD and kind of a compare and contrast of where they're both at in their career right now. And I just feel like it's to the point where last week the whole thing with Slater, I almost think people were more excited to see Slater in that matchup than RVD. Because just RVD, I mean, I love him. He's one of my favorites of all time. Loved him in ECW. Loved the fact that he beat John Cena in 2006 to win the title. But at this point, I mean, he's not as quick as he used to be. He's kind of got the pudge. Where Jericho's really, I think Jericho's still doing some of the best work of his career, even on a part-time basis. I'm going to elaborate it more on my channel, but I just wanted to get a little preview of that right now.
And Seth won with, of course, the blackout. And when Seth's going backstage, he sees Hulk Hogan's birthday presents for later in the night, and he kind of looks, and he's just like, oh, I might be being paranoid, but he taps the box, and he's just like, I'm just being paranoid, and he laughs, and he turns around, and Dean comes out of the present, and he just starts attacking him from behind. And Seth escapes from the crowd, and Dean says, that's fine, you go ahead and run now, pretty much, but you won't be running at SummerSlam because you'll have nowhere to go because it's a lumberjack match, so they'll throw you back at the ring. You're all mine. And pretty much, I think he says stuff about the WWE Network again, saying that I'm going to beat you in 6 days for only $9.99. They're just pretty much just totally the whole couple weeks they've just been killing the WWE Network, and it's pretty funny, but. Yeah, the segment was good. I really liked Dean coming out of the boxes.
It's quite interesting, Haley, because their storyline is probably one of the top 3 or 4 storylines going in the company and arguably in the business at the moment. But they're really teasing the payoff big match. I mean, last month we saw in the pay-per-view the whole skirmish. It wasn't even a match. And now it's a lumberjack match. I mean, to me, this does both competitors a tremendous disservice because, to me, lumberjack matches are so predictable, especially with these two guys. They didn't need that. I just feel like a cage match or a ladder match with the briefcase on the line would have been a lot better. Maybe we'll get it at Night of Champions. Maybe that'll be the big payoff for their feud. But they're telling a great story, but they keep swerving us with giving us the payoff match. And Obviously, with Brock and Cena and some other big matches on the card, maybe they don't want that match to steal the show and to save that big match for Night of Champions or whatever. But I don't know. I'm a little disappointed in the whole lumberjack thing. I thought they could have come up with something better.
Yeah, I have a feeling though that their Money in the Bank, for the Money in the Bank, I feel like that's either going to be their last match or they're just not going to do it at all. Just because they're going to have either Seth win cheaply on these matches or Dean just beat him. Because if you guys didn't know, Seth beat him in every single match in FCW that they had. So now that Seth is the heel, you know, and he's with the Authority, they're going to make Dean probably look stronger. And, you know, Seth, you know, obviously looks like the weak link, like he needs help and stuff. So he's either going to win these matches with help or cheaply, or they're either not going to have the match, which I really don't think that, I really hope they don't do this again. Or they're just going to have Dean just destroy him. I don't know. But the whole thing is, it's just, I'll be shocked if Seth wins, if they let Seth win cleanly, because, you know, especially since the fans are behind Dean right now, and, you know, they don't like it when, pretty much when heels win, unless they're actually giving him a push. But, I mean, yes, they're giving not the push, but it's different because he's with the Authority, you know. I don't know. It's just, I have a big feeling that they're just going to mess this up for Seth. I don't know.
I mean, we've seen it happen in the past at Money in the Bank. So, I mean, Seth's had a lot of momentum, but you hate to see it come to a scratching halt and him be in the same department as the Zigglers and the Sandows and the Cesaros.
Yeah, definitely. Stephanie McMahon says she has a secret to share with everybody. And Daniel Bryan's physical therapist comes out. And what's funny is I guess she's actually a wrestler in the Indies. That's what I looked up. I guess she's actually a wrestler in the Indies that they used.
He trained at Lance Jim, if I'm not mistaken. He trained with someone pretty credible.
Yeah, I don't know. And they pretty much say they have something she has something she has to confess, and she pretty much calls Daniel Bryan and Brie good people, and she's had dinner with them and everything like that. And she says that she's been having an affair with Daniel Bryan. And Joe, I liked your status I seen a Monday night. It's pretty much the TNA thing with AJ Styles. I don't know. I thought it was funny that they did this whole affair thing again. I don't know if it's not going to work. Obviously, they're probably going to kill it in a few weeks because she's going to be feuding with Brie Bella is going to be feuding with her sister. At least that's the word. So I don't really see her actually being actually a storyline. In the storyline, it was pretty much just to bring tension to get Brie fired, so they're both even. And so, you know, because I don't think that they're gonna. I just think it would be stupid if they used this storyline for more than just that week, because it's just like, what is there actually to prove? You know, Daniel Bryan's not even here, so like, what are you gonna do with it? What are you just gonna bring him back? Not as a wrestler, but just as like Brie support and stuff like that, and try to put him in this run. Like, it wouldn't make sense. The whole thing would just be stupid. Brie comes out. She's fuming mad, and she's just like, "Why are you doing this to me?" and everything like that. And Stephanie says, "Oh, just tell her what you've been seeing in those physical." Therapies, and she goes, yes. And Brie obviously gets mad. She slaps that, what was her name, Megan something, the physical therapist, and then she attacks Stephanie, and she puts her in the yes lock, and the people from the back come out, and they pretty much break it up. And then Stephanie says that she cannot wait until SummerSlam, that she wants her in the ring later on tonight. And obviously, as soon as they said this, we knew that it wasn't going to happen. We knew that, obviously, I thought maybe she was going to be put in a handicap match or something like that. But we obviously knew that it wasn't going to happen. They obviously weren't going to fight. Obviously, Stephanie was going to get out of it somehow. But yeah, that's what the build-up was for, that they were going to fight later on tonight instead of SummerSlam. The segment, I don't really know how I feel about the segment. I mean, the Brie and Stephanie thing was funny, it was good, but just putting the whole affair thing in the storyline, I just thought it was ridiculous, especially just because it was for a week. But since, you know, she slapped, they had to get her, you know, Brie to obviously be arrested because of Stephanie being arrested. So they had to make it even pretty much. Since Brie got one on Stephanie, Stephanie had to get one on Brie to make them obviously look even for SummerSlam. But like I said, the whole affair storyline just didn't make sense to me. I really hope they squash it because, like I said, I don't think it would make any sense to keep it. But, Joe, what's your thoughts on this?
Boy, do I have some thoughts on this. It was funny. I was watching Raw with my girlfriend, with some of my best friends, including the RICW Universal Heavyweight Champion, Brian Sire. And I told her, like even when she came out the crowd, I'm like, oh, no. They're ripping off Claire Lynch. I just felt it. And obviously the promo, and we saw that was what they were doing. It's funny because I watched a few interviews lately with Frankie and Chris Daniels talking about the Claire Lynch storyline. And, you know, the original outline for that was a lot different than what you saw on television. And pretty much it was Frankie and Daniels' idea to do the storyline, but they brought in that homely girl who is an actor, not even a wrestler. It wasn't even believable that AJ Styles, who is a good, devout Christian man, good father, all that, loyal family man, that he would even cheat on his wife with this hideous, homely-looking woman. And that storyline, I mean, you could tell she just was in over her head, and it was just bad. It was just a bad 6 weeks of television for TNA. And for WWE to recycle this, I don't know if they're trying to troll TNA and kind of poke fun at them. I feel like hopefully this is only a one-shot deal. This can't continue. I mean, I think, like you said, if Nikki turns or something else happens, we'll see more heat in the storyline. But I think it was a one-shot deal. If it is, I'll find it funny. But still, I mean, people talk about the two companies ripping off each other's storylines. And, I mean, it's almost completely parallel. Like you said, it's even worse because at least AJ Styles was there to be part of that storyline, and it kind of made sense for AJ Styles to transform his character into a darker character, which we see to this day in New Japan, Ring of Honor, kicking ass, being one of the best independents around, one of the best wrestlers on the planet, quite frankly. But, you know, to rip it off, I feel like it makes Daniel Bryan look even weaker. And obviously the rumors are we're probably not going to even see Bryan on television until January, maybe the Royal Rumble, due to his setbacks. And so to me, as long as it was a one-shot deal, I'm okay with it. I can laugh at it. But if they continuous, it absolutely makes me sick. Because it made me sick in TNA. If they had done what Frankie and Chris Daniels wanted to do, it would have been great. But they ripped it off. And now they're going to rip off the rip-off. It just makes me sick. I mean, come on, WWE. To quote ABC basketball analyst Mark Jackson, "You're better than that, young fella."
Yeah, I just like I said, I hope they end it very fast. Jack Swagger versus Antonio Cesaro is next. And me and Michael Miner talked about this on SmackDown, why Jack Swagger didn't come out with Rusev, because they usually do come out. His ribs were taped this week, so obviously they're playing that he's injured from the flagpole hitting his stomach and everything like that, Rusev attacking him from last Monday. And Jack Swagger wins again, a good win for him again, and Cesaro taps out. And when they're doing the We the People saying, Rusev interrupts, and they don't say anything, they just pretty much hold up the flag and everything like that. It was not really a promo or a talkative, they were just pretty much saying that, I guess we're going to pretty much win this Sunday. I guess that was what their saying was. But yeah, the match was good though. Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro have been having some good matches together. You know, I kind of wish they would have feuded before when the Zeb Coulter and Paul Heyman thing, but they kind of just killed that. they didn't really have them feud or anything like that, and I was kind of disappointed about that. But now I've noticed they've been having quite a few matches before his big build-up against Rusev, and they've been having some good matches. Yes, people probably don't like that Antonio Cesaro isn't winning and Jack Swagger is, but right now they're obviously giving Jack Swagger his face push, and I think it's actually going to work for him. Like I really like the whole face turn for him. I hope that it's not just going to be, people might be a little bit worried because, who are they actually going to have a feud with? Who is this actually going to work against other than Rusev after this? But they can do a couple of different things with his face turn. But this is definitely going to give his push up, and hopefully they have one more match after this. Hopefully Jack wins this match, and then they have one more for the tiebreaker. Because I am enjoying this feud.
I'm personally a little worried for Jack Swagger because I feel like this feud is probably going to end at SummerSlam, and maybe they go with Sheamus and Rusev for the U.S. title at Night of Champions. I feel like they're going to keep Rusev undefeated just to make him look stronger. And after this is over, I mean, yeah, people are getting into Jack Swagger. They love Zeb Coulter. The new All-American shirt, the We the People chants. But who is Jack Swagger going to feud with after that? Like, that's my concern. What is the long-term plan for Jack Swagger? Is this all just a short-term thing and people are going to get into him? And then once the Rusev feud is over, he's going to go back, back to Jobberland with the rest of the mid-carders. I'm a little worried for that, and I'm worried that they don't have a long-term payoff thought out for Jack Swagger. I mean, that Lana promo a few weeks ago on the Malaysian plane situation almost killed the whole story. So, to me, it's almost on life support as it is already. So I wouldn't expect to continue much further. I would expect Sheamus and Rusev to possibly feud going forward.
Yeah, the thing about Rusev, too, is since they've been making him undefeated, I've been thinking about this today. Because I was going to talk about him. The thing is what are they going to do with him? Like, are they really actually going to make him like one of the top wrestlers, or are they just going to screw him over? Like Ryback, for example, they made him look like a powerhouse, undefeatable, unbreakable, and look at where he is now.
Yeah.
He's pretty much a jobber. I mean, that's the thing with Rusev. They push all these people and they make him so undefeated and everything like that, and then they kill him. So that's why I think what's going to happen to Rusev. I know a lot of people like Rusev, but I'm just like, I don't really see them actually having him in for much more. Like, I see maybe him having the U.S. title, like you said, beating Sheamus, and then eventually him getting defeated, and after he gets defeated, I think that's going to just be it. Like, he's just going to go down, because that's the only thing that he really has going for him right now. And Lana, obviously, everyone loves Lana. But that's what I'm worried about for Lana. Like, what's she going to do after if he goes down with the jobber list and everything like that? Is she actually are they still going to do something with her, or are they still going to have her as his manager and stuff? I'm kind of worried about Rusev, what they're going to actually do with him.
I mean, they have a track record, and not just recently with Ryback. That's one of the more recent examples. But even going back to like the Ruthless Aggression era, Umaga, very similarly booked, destroyed everybody. And then once he got to John Cena destroyed him. It wasn't before long that Umaga was back in the pack. The same thing with Chris Masters. I mean, I can go on and on. I mean, the Great Khali. There's so many people who fall in that category where they push them as monsters, and then once the monster finally get defeated, they have no long-term planning, and it just...
Yeah, I agree. Joe just cut out right now, so... technical difficulties, but yeah, I agree. Like, the list just goes on and on. Umaga is a great example. Very, very similar belts, and they look like monster destroyers and everything. They don't really talk. They just, they both had managers, so it's the exact same. You can definitely compare him to Umaga. I think, I didn't want to say this, I really want Jack Swagger to defeat him. I think Jack Swagger is the best one to defeat his undefeated streak, but I have a feeling that it's going to be John Cena. I really do. I have a feeling that John Cena is going to be the one that defeats Rusev, because it's just they make John Cena do everything, and I like John Cena. I'm not gonna lie, I do like John Cena. I am a fan of John Cena, but he annoys me sometimes because they never put over new talent. They always just want John Cena to just defeat all these undefeated guys. But Joe, you can finish what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, you finished my point for me. But, I mean, pretty much the only two guys, we're talking about John Cena and guys who have ran into him, who have survived John Cena. I mean, people like The Miz, obviously, they defeat him at WrestleMania, but then he loses eventually and they get brought down. I would say CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. The only two people that have gotten wins cleanly over John Cena, or close to cleanly, and have survived going forward. The only two. I can't name anyone else. And that is absolutely sad. Because at this point in John Cena's career, look, I have a lot of respect for John Cena and what he does, but he needs to be a talent that enhances other talent. Why does Dolph Ziggler feud with him and then go to the toilet? Why does Damian Sandow feud with him and then go to the toilet? Why does he feud with the Nexus and Wade Barrett, and then Wade Barrett does nothing after that? I mean, there was that infamous story that took place on Jericho's podcast, where Edge and Jericho talked about that infamous match, the Nexus versus Team WWE at SummerSlam, and John Cena wanted to take a DDT on the pavement and kick out at 2 and then beat Justin Gabriel and Wade Barrett. It just made no sense. It killed Wade Barrett. It killed the Steven the Nexus. This happens continuously. I don't know if it's John Cena or the writing or the booking or a combination of the three. John Cena doesn't strike me as a political person like Randy Orton and Triple H, but I also think that, I don't think he's above it either. So, I mean, to me, it's just shocking that only Daniel Bryan and CM Punk can say that they got wins over John Cena clearly in their career advance. So many guys, the Umagas, Rusev could be another victim of that. We just don't know.
That's exactly what I was telling the people when you cut out. But yeah, it's crazy. I don't think John Cena's really. I have a feeling because John Cena also said that he wanted to turn heel and they wouldn't let him. So it's pretty much like John Cena just does what they say. I do feel a little bit bad for John Cena for all the hate he gives because I feel like half of it isn't even his fault. But that's just my opinion.
The hatred.
You can finish. You can say something. I'm sorry. I didn't know you could.
The hatred he gets, Haley, is a bit unfair. I think the IWC is just too hard on him. But after him being on top for 10 years, and as I mentioned, really only two guys who have beaten him and then gone on to stay in the main event circle and not drop down like acid rain, it's just the track record speaks for itself, and that's why Cena gets the hate, and that's why Brock is coming off as the babyface in this feud, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho promo. Bray Wyatt talks about, can you see the disappointment in your father's eyes? He starts talking about Chris Jericho's father, for example. And it's funny because I did mention that I just seen a recent interview of him on SmackDown. I talked about this on the SmackDown review and how he said that this was like his thing, like this was his character now, because like this is like exactly him, and it's not like the husky hairs thing wasn't working for him and everything like that. He said the husky hairs thing wasn't him and it wasn't going anywhere, and like he said like he completely does his own stuff. Yeah, I don't know. He says he pretty much in the interview, he says he does his own stuff and that he doesn't have no script or anything. Like he completely, it comes from what he believes in, pretty much. That's what he said. He says all this stuff that he says he believes in, and like that's why he says it's pretty much him and it's not a character. But he just starts talking about that, and there's going to be, and he says like there's going to be no consequences for my actions for what I do to Chris Jericho and everything like that, and I hate everything the world created. That's pretty much what he says. And Chris Jericho comes back and he says, I'm not the savior. I'm a survivor. I've survived everything. I've beaten everybody. I've won titles, and he pretty much just goes into his history on how he's the best and everything like that. And you never know what Chris Jericho you're going to get. That's pretty much what he says. He's just like, I can't promise you what Chris Jericho you're going to get at SummerSlam. I can't promise you that you're not going to get hurt or I'm not going to destroy you, and pretty much just go back and forth. And he says, I'm going to make you follow the buzzers. I'm going to shove them down your throat, and that'll shut your mouth pretty much. And it was a great promo between both of them. They were just kind of sitting backstage, and the word is obviously they recorded this ahead of time, obviously, but yeah, it was a great promo. Both of them had some great coverage on both of each other, and this is going to just shape into a great match at SummerSlam. I do think that this time Bray Wyatt is going to go over. I don't think, Chris Jericho's like we said before, he's one of those people that puts over talent. He comes back to put over young talent, and I'm pretty sure that he's gonna let Bray Wyatt win. I don't see why he wouldn't let Bray Wyatt win. I really hope they don't mess up Bray Wyatt, because this is like the future right here. He is amazing, and he really needs this push. And I mean, they already didn't let him really get pushed over from John Cena, but that was obviously a given. But it's just, I really think that they should let Chris Jericho put him over, and I think they will. But like I said, the promo was very good. They both had some good stuff to say. I like how Chris Jericho brought in his history and talked about, his different characters and everything like that. I thought that was interesting. And yeah, what are your thoughts, Joe?
Well, first of all, for the first time in over 2 years, we saw the best in the world at what he does. Wearing suits, not pandering to the hypocrites and tapeworms of the crowd. And really, I mean, I love Y2J. What many people on the Wrestling Throwdown may not know is Y2J is one of my all-time favorites. I actually had a chance to meet Chris Jericho when I was 16 years old. He was great to me. He's just a great individual, and I'm just such a fan of him as a wrestler, as a talker. Even Fozzy I'm a fan of. And for him to just continue to evolve, and we were talking about RVD and, kind of RVD stalemate, and again, I'm going to do a video on this on my own channel, but Jericho to channel that character, and I love that character. People didn't see that character coming when he first brought that out, when he came back in 07, and the Y2J gimmick wasn't getting over. And what many people don't know, Jericho was inspired to create that character from watching the movie No Country for Old Men, and the bad guy in the movie that Javier Barton, whatever his name is, played in the movie. And he put a little bit of Nick Bockwinkel influence in it as well. People who don't know who Nick Bockwinkel is, watch the AWA DVD. But he blended those two characters, and he created just that incredible best in the world at what he did, superhero character. One of the best feuds in modern memory, him and Shawn Michaels, him and Rey Mysterio had a great feud. And for him to bring this back against Bray Wyatt, I absolutely loved it. It's Bray Wyatt pushing the Y2J character against the wall and forcing him to turn to his fiendish roots, not necessarily roots, but his fiendish ways as the best in the world character. And I love it, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get a double switch with Jericho turning heel and Bray Wyatt turning face, especially with the Wyatts not allowed at ringside. A lot of options that could happen here.
Definitely, that would be interesting, a double turn. Speaking of double turn, AJ Lee and Paige had a double turn just recently, and AJ Lee versus Eva Marie. Paige comes out and she starts skipping around the ring, pretty much imitating AJ, and AJ gets distracted and Eva Marie wins. Paige does a poem. It's pretty funny. I actually think she's very good on the mic. I know people say that she's not. I think she's good on the mic. I don't think she's a problem on the mic, especially since she's heel now. This is weird though. I wanted to talk about this. Eva Marie comes out, and you know how she gets out of the ring. She seems fine. She seems like she's not hurt or anything. She blows her a little kiss, and we think she's gone. Now, when Paige leaves and AJ's pissed off, obviously, you see Eva holding her neck like this and looking down like she's been hurt for the past 5 minutes. and there's no medical people. Like, obviously there would be medical people around. Obviously she was that bad hurt. And she just was holding her neck, and so AJ comes out of the ring and attacks her. I just thought the whole thing was ridiculous. I'm just like, what is Eva Marie still doing out here? Like, how did she get hurt? If she really is hurt, why didn't she act like that when she got out of the ring? Why is she just not acting like she's hurt? And why isn't the medical doctors or anything attending her? Like, I don't get that. And it was pretty much obviously just to have AJ attack her, but I just thought the whole thing was played out really bad. And AJ obviously went crazy and attacked her. And obviously this just feuds for the flame of Paige and AJ. Obviously, I think this match can actually go either way, and we'll talk more about this for the pre-SummerSlam prediction thing. But I feel like it can go either way now, because yes, Paige just turned heel, so you would expect her to win, but also they're saying that Night of Champions is supposed to be their biggest pay-per-view. So, and also it's just like, since AJ's feeling the flame now, and she's on track and everything, she can obviously pull out the win too. So, and just obviously, I don't think their feud is not going to end after SummerSlam. I can definitely see it going for at least another month or two. But it's just interesting. I think you can go either way now. But it's going to be good, because both of them, like I said, are both very eager to just get their hands on each other and beat each other up. And they're both feeding fire to the other one. I mean, it's just like AJ does something that pissed off Paige, and Paige is doing something to piss off AJ, just to get into each other's heads, pretty much. Just kind of like the AJ and Caitlyn pretty much feud, but AJ was pretty much just getting into Caitlyn's head. But this time it's kind of like, it seems like they're both getting into each other's heads. What do you think, Joe?
Well, I mean, first of all, on Eva Marie, I mean, the girl, she's improved, but selling is something that you don't just develop. You either have it or you don't. And just a terrible sell job, as you were saying, and unbelievable for her to just kind of sit around and kind of wait and toil to get beat up. I mean, sit again, sell the shit out of it. Like, what the hell are you doing, girl? Come on, sell it. Anyway.
Exactly.
Anyway, though, I mean, overall, with the exception of Eva Marie's cell botch, I thought it was a well-done segment. And, again, it's just continuing to gauge the interest, and Paige pushing AJ, and I'll give you my prediction, obviously, on the prediction show coming up. But it could go either way. I agree. It certainly could.
John Cena does his promo in the ring, and he says that, the same stuff he always says. He won't lay down. And Brock Lesnar doesn't deserve this, and he's not going to lay down for him. And he says, I'm not going to be champion forever, but it's going to be against someone. I'm going to lose against someone who deserves it and who actually shows, respect, and actually doesn't just want the title, and actually, and it's just like, oh my God, Xena. And Xena, this was interesting, though. Xena talks about, everyone's asking when I'm going to turn heel. Xena, when are you going to turn? When are you going to turn? I thought this was interesting that he brought this up. And he goes, I'll tell you one thing. He's just like, you're going to see a turn at SummerSlam. He's just like, you're going to see the John Cena that you want to see. And obviously he's not going to turn heel, but, I mean, he's pretty much saying he's going to be aggressive. I mean, I guess anything can happen. I shouldn't say that there's no, I mean, I feel like there's going to be no possible way for him to turn heel. But the thing is it's just, it's just, I don't know. It's just, it's just they can't just turn him heel. I don't know. It's just, it's crazy. But pretty much that's what he says. He's just,
there's a reason.
Yeah, for the fans, I know, for the kids love them. They're going to be heartbroken, and I understand that and everything. But it's just like, why can't you have a new guy? Why can't you have a new guy that's like, I mean, Roman Reigns. I'm pretty sure a lot of kids like Roman Reigns right now, and he's a face. He can be the top face. Let him be the top face for a while. He's a very likable character. It's just like they feel like they can't. John Cena always has to be the top face. They can never have a new. a new person in there. And you know, same with Dean Ambrose too. He's a little bit wild and crazy, but I've seen him with a lot of little kids, little kids like Dean too. Dean's a good. I mean, he can be one of the top faces too. It's just I don't get it. I don't think he really could though with his crazy character, but. I mean, it's just they just think that he just it just kind of makes me mad. But he says he pretty much says, Brock, he said that this is your house. So, well, you know, it's your house.
Haley!